Hey friends, it's Timon. We're back with a Blaha video. So we're going to react to the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slaves new video. Blaha says most guys are training with too much volume and not enough intensity. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here with JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about the fact that most guys are just goofing off, right? They're oftentimes just doing endless pump volume, not enough actual real training, and they end up doing more than they need to do. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so, and if you'll be kind enough to drop a comment down below, I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's get over into the topic. Again, I want to be clear when I say this. I'm taking a sane middle ground. I am not promoting Minzer's nonsense of one set a week. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not telling you guys to do 57 rest pause reps at the end of a set and force rep. I'm not saying that. Like, sets to failure are fine. Sets within 1 rep to failure are fine. Like, if you're 1 rep away from failure but not quite failure, like the bar slows, you're in a really good spot on that set. You probably produce pretty dang near optimal muscle growth on that set. But I think the issue what I'm talking about is too many guys pursue endless volume instead of progressive overload. And we know that progressive overload is the primary driver of muscle growth. And I'm not telling you guys to go.
Progressive overload is the primary thing of muscle growth. Yeah, progressive overload adapted is the primary growth of inflammation in your muscles. Yeah, inflaming your muscles, consistently inflaming them. Yeah, that's the growth behind it. Yeah. But that doesn't grow myofibrillar growth. What grows myofibrillar growth are micro tears and protein outpacing protein breakdown.
And starting strength endlessly. So again, I think people don't understand there. I'm not telling you to try to make linear progression with sub-low quality sets, because you see that a lot in the novice.
I don't know what he's promoting. What is he saying here now? You mean recruiting motor units? He's a recruiting motor unit slave. Yeah.
So where they reset you, but a lot of times they're pretty far from failure.
Are you recruiting motor units, or are you trying to build muscle? If you're trying to build muscle, you got to damage muscle fibers. If you're trying to recruit motor units, then just lift every day in the gym. Be a lifting slave like Blaha. Yeah, that's it. This isn't rocket science, man.
A lot of those resets or a lot of with the starting points, not what we're saying.
No.
Get in and do.
Just because you're lifting a heavy weight and trying to play the part, like Blaha, like flaring his arms out and stuff, lifting a heavy weight does not make you big. It itself does not make you big.
Quality work. And when I say too many guys are just doing too much volume, I have almost never seen anything but endless stalls. When dudes start doing 20 sets for muscle groups, okay? I've seen this in novice and advanced lifters, if they are not using drugs. You start hitting about 20 sets or more a week, I see person after person after person.
Look at him how he's flaring himself out. Look when he comes closer to the camera, when you see him, he gets smaller. Because if I come close to a camera, I get big. But when do you see somebody that actually looked bigger in the background and then they came closer and they looked smaller? Only Blaha. See, look. This is the dad bod. That's why he has to make up this stuff, dad bod to daddy bod, whatever, because it's just a failure. 0 shoulders, 0 chest, 0 arms, 0 abs, 0 legs. And his knees, the skin is hanging around the knees because, I don't know, it's just flabbing there. This muscle's like flabbing. I don't know. This guy's full of it.
Stall over and over and over.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what I've seen. It's just endless stalling. So, and I've seen it with clients. I've seen it with former clients. People who came to me and they were just stuck. And I've seen it with novices. I've seen it with advanced lifters. And then you scale their volumes down and they do good. And I'm not even saying do really low volume. All right. I mean, again, examples. I've taken people who were trying to do 25 sets for a muscle group and they were completely stuck, making no gains, literally stuck at a 1.
They made no gains doing that? Well, because it doesn't give you gains, duh.
35 bench press for 5 reps and couldn't get past that. Chest not growing.
5 reps is not enough to cause any micro damage, but they did get gains. Oh, you mean inflammation? Oh, well, they should have did 10 reps to get the inflammation. Yeah, maybe 5 wasn't enough.
Triceps not growing. Took them down to like 10 sets a week.
So the triceps weren't growing. They weren't getting inflamed, so he took them down a bit. And then they got inflamed. Okay, yeah, like Blaha. Inflammation slave.
I mean, that's definitely a textbook case of that. I took him down to 10 sets a week.
I'm doing the 14-day filmmaker course.
Definitely a textbook case of that. I took him down to 10 sets a week.
Oh, yeah.
He started making progress. He started making weekly progress again.
Yeah, weekly progress,
Okay?
yes.
And he put on substantial amounts of muscle. Like, I just had him literally on muscle lean bulk from there, like not even gaining more than a pound a month. The guy recomposition from there. The same thing, like if you guys remember, client Justin, who we did vlogs, I've done a lot of stuff. Gosh, he came to me over 5 years, like 5.5 years ago. He had been stuck at around a 405 squat, and you guys saw me build him to a 500. Okay?
Yeah.
He was stuck at, his conventional deadlift was under 500. We got it up into the 500s. Benching, everything went up. He continued to make progress. Okay? He was doing the whole over 20 sets of muscle group. He was training for like 2 hours a day, 2.5 hours a day, 5 days a week type stuff. And he was just stuck and making no
2.5 hours a day. Doing what? Adapted? Inflaming your muscles?
progress at all. I took him down to, again, even for him, something around 12 sets of muscle group.
Okay.
Okay. And within, keeping in mind, I think we hit about a 425 squat within 2 months. He had never hit a 425 squat in his life. He had been training 12 or 13 years already. Okay. And he has a great physique. So again, we're not even talking just powerlifting, but again, one of those examples of he also understood getting strong for him, drug-free, was going to be the key to gaining more muscle. And I think that's the take.
So getting strong is the key for him to gaining more muscle, getting us stronger. So getting more motor units is the key to getting more muscle. Motor units don't build muscles. I don't know what he's talking about, man. He's crazy.
We have to think about with the training.
Look, man, protein and micro tears build muscle.
Volume, too much goofing off. Are we seeing progressive overload? And I think that's usually our dead giveaway. Your volumes are too high.
He sounds like that massive iron guy, Steve Shaw. Oh, well, it's progressive overload.
Usually if we're not seeing any progress. And yeah, I do mean I've literally taken clients down to, like 6 sets a week per muscle group before, and they start making progress. Okay? And in other words, you come in and bench twice a week, 3 sets each, you'll be in a good place there. And again, if the loading is correct, you're good. And I think too many people get caught up in, again, they need to feel like they need to work every angle, but it's like when volumes start reaching optimal volumes and your sets are hard,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have really heads up muscles that are underdeveloped if that muscle's a primary mover. Now,
Muscles underdeveloped. Well, the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy will take care of that. It'll fill it all up.
again, I understand something like the deltoid with 3 completely separate functions. Part of it's on the front of the body, part of it's on the back of the body. All right, delts are a little more nuanced, but a lot of these other muscles really are not. Okay, they're really not. And if you're doing decent range of motion work and the volume reaches a sufficient level, and again, sufficient, start talking 6 to 10 sets a week.
Yes,
really
Blaha.
hard sets, everything's going to grow. But the same thing with all the jump volume.
Everything's going to grow. Everything. If you lift this weight, everything's going to grow. The volume, this and that. Nothing's going to grow, man. If protein doesn't outpace protein breakdown, there's no micro damage. Nothing is going to grow other than inflammation.
There's been no evidence that, to my knowledge, ever, even in a lab, that compound movements do not cause just as much muscle as isolation in terms of those muscles. We see it in the real world, we see it repeatedly in the lab. Again, not telling you not to isolate your weakest link. Look, you got a muscle you really need to grow. It's not growing with the other stuff. You want to isolate it, by all means do so. I'm not telling you not to. But, you know, are we coming in and just doing endless
How's that working for Blaha? Exactly.
junk volume? Is it low quality sets? Okay. And by junk volume, meaning is performance degrading. And that's, again, a sign of lack of progressive overload. In other words, you're coming in doing an exercise that if you can't replicate that performance, if it's the first movement.
Here he goes, pushing the sled, man. Pure slave. Unbelievable, this guy. This is just more inflammation, bro.
End of the day, this is a problem. Okay, that's another sign.
Creating more inflammation in his legs, okay.
Into junk volume with exercises. And just volume that's not even helping you grow and just beating up your recovery.
Junk volume not helping you grow, just recover something. Man, that's not growing you.
That's a perfect, you know, let's say you come in and you do some whatever type of curl. If your performance on it is more than about 10% lower than it would be if you did that exercise fresh, you're not gaining anything from it. Okay, in other words, if you could do 100 pounds for 10 reps on that movement fresh, and you're struggling with 90 pounds for 8 at that point in your session, that's junk volume. You were probably gaining nothing from it. Okay? And I do mean that. It is probably a waste of time at that point. Right? So the thing is, it's like if guys are going to try to do a lot of volume, your workouts are going to need to be real long. Because if you're not replicating, you're not able to replicate performance, similar to where it was when you were fresh, you're just goofing off. Progressive overload, progressive tension is how you gain muscle, not endless volume. All right, guys, but that's really all I have.
God, that's how you gain muscle. Oh, Jesus, man. Whatever, bro. That's why he's gaining so much muscle.
Say on that today. I hope it's been.
Thank God. I couldn't wait for this to be over because it's always the same thing, man. Weight's gonna build muscles, bro. Good luck.